Each week on this video, we'll give you 3 players moving up and down the RosterWatch Dynasty Startup rankings. I'm Seslowsky, and thanks for tuning in to RosterWatch. The first player we're going to talk about is Saquon Barkley, age 24, the running back on the New York Giants. Currently, slightly falling down the Dynasty rankings. Previous rank, RB2. Updated rank, RB3. There's no question about Barkley's talent or upside for fantasy football. Barkley is one of the rare running back prospects that even the running backs don't matter crowd can get behind as a first-round real NFL pick. During Barkley's rookie season, he finished as the RB3 overall, and in 2019, finished as the RB12 despite missing a month of the season. Saquon suffered the season-ending injury, as we all know, in week 2 last year, and is still young enough at age 24 to have plenty of great days. The Dynasty market agrees that Barkley is still a first-round startup pick in Superflex leagues. When quibbling at the top of the rankings, it's important to project the player's value 18 months out. If Barkley were to get injured again, where would his value be? Compare that with Jonathan Taylor if he were hurt. Where would his value be? Dropping Barkley down one spot may seem marginal, but it's important because you need to decide who you want to base your whole fantasy team on and make the cornerstone and your first round pick. When you're deciding who you want your first pick to be, both Taylor and Barkley are available. Drafting the extra years and the less damaged player could be optimal. The second player we're going to talk about is Jonathan Taylor, age 22, the running back on the Colts. Currently rising up the Dynasty rankings. Previous rank, RB3. Updated rank, RB2. When one player falls, another must rise. Jonathan Taylor is as close to a perfect running back prospect as you could want. Elite speed, athleticism, BMI, and running behind one of the best offensive lines in all of football. There is a case to draft JT as the RB1 in Dynasty since he is 3 years younger than Christian McCaffrey. If we're going to nitpick Taylor, it may be that he has a lower ceilings from a reception standpoint since prolific pass catcher Nyheim Hines and returning veteran Marlon Mack are slated for roles. Taylor will undoubtedly be a yardage and touchdowns monster, but his pass catching upside could be capped around 40 to 45 receptions, where some of the other elite running backs could be around 65 plus. Should Taylor suffer a season-ending injury, his relative value for next season would be unchanged. That market liquidity and insulation is enough to rank him as the RB2. The third player we're going to talk about is Michael Thomas, age 28, the wide receiver on the New Orleans Saints, currently rising up our Dynasty rankings. Previous rank, wide receiver 15. Updated rank, wide receiver 12. As the offseason moves along, recency bias from 2020 starts to fade. This is a good thing. Fantasy managers are sour on Michael Thomas after you drafted him as the wide receiver 1 last year in your Dynasty leagues. Prior to his disappointing 2020 season, Thomas was on a Hall of Fame trajectory, racking up 125 and 149 receptions in back-to-back years. He was catching footballs at over an 80% rate. Skeptics of a Michael Thomas rebound season will point to the retirement of accurate quarterback Drew Brees as a reason to avoid him. Thomas will be connected to either Taysom Hill or the arm of Jameis Winston. Let's keep in mind that Michael Thomas had his best fantasy weeks when Taysom Hill was the starting quarterback. And fantasy gamers already know how great Winston can be for the fantasy wide receivers, as we saw in 2019 when he was in Tampa Bay. Michael Thomas's third-round ADP is starting to look like one of the best values in all of Dynasty fantasy football. Okay, RosterWatch Nation, that's it for today. Remember to like and subscribe to get notifications when we put up new videos. And leave us a comment in the video. Let us know which players are rising and falling up your Dynasty rankings.